Have you seen the latest Bigfoot pictures out there?
I didn't.
You
No,
did?
no.
Cal, you've
No.
had to see the latest pictures of the what we call the Yeti, the Sasquatch, the abominable snowman, all these different things. Come
I'm
on, man.
sorry, bro. I don't get into that. I think it's hilarious, and especially the fact that there's a huge movement picking up, like right now. Like people are like, "This is a
Well,
real thing."
it's kind of always been there, but I agree with you. It seems
Right.
like it's just getting like, yeah, it's getting off the
Like
charts.
it's becoming a real thing, like in the church community. Like it's yeah,
So what happened?
yeah. What's up?
Well, let's pull up a picture of the latest Sasquatch,
Oh,
of
you got
the
something for
latest
me?
Bigfoot.
Okay. All right. Let's see here.
You're gonna love it. I think it's the best photo yet. I think it's the best. Look, oh my gosh, look at that. Is that the most defeated looking Sasquatch Bigfoot you've ever seen in your life? I mean, he's like, can't y'all just leave me alone?
Well, you hear the theme song in the background, right? Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think this guy he needs some
Oh.
Prozac. He needs something, man. He needs to help get through his day or whatever. I think he's like, you know what? I'm tired. Just take the picture already.
I think the batteries ran out on his beard trimmer is probably what happened.
You know what's even funnier, guys, is when you look at some of the comments, and I'll just read them. We won't
Oh,
physically go look at them because there's some other comments in there we don't want to be don't want to show. But anyway,
no.
so this one guy off the rip, I mean, and
Hold
without
on,
him,
hold
hold
on,
on, oh,
hold on,
Kyle's
hold
having a moment,
on. Yeah,
Somebody go
I'm
help him.
sorry. I looked at the picture too long. I just see he's
dude. I'm talking about
just,
defeated. He's
just take the
defeated. Like
picture, bro.
You found me. All right.
he's like, I can't even go out here and catch a fish to eat later, and you just go ahead, just take the
Yeah.
picture for
When you're
Pete's
done, go
sake.
find Waldo and leave me alone.
Oh, that's great. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
some
ahead.
guys,
I
some
had
of the
my
funny
moment.
comments in there, and this one guy, he should get an award for this. Captain
Oh.
Obvious. He says, "Fake, sorry, way to get attention." Then the next guy says, "It's AI. In other words, fake, nonsense." I'm like, really?
You think?
Without this information, I was actually hook, line, and sinker on this one, man. I thought this was a legitimate, real deal here.
Oh, he posed and everything.
That's fantastic.
Now the next guy, the third comment line is the best one so far. He says, "Leave my old lady alone." Oh my
Poor
gosh.
guy.
Poor guy or poor girl? Which one?
Yeah,
Oh
poor her too. Yeah.
yeah. Another comment says, "Bad posture. Needs to do yoga."
Oh.
Him and
Oh my
Yogi the
gosh.
Bear's out there doing it together.
And then another guy in here says, "Please leave him alone." Just leave him alone.
Just let him be.
Just let him live, man. Oh
What did
my
he do to
gosh.
you?
That's way too funny.
Oh
Oh, that's
man.
fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, the unfortunately with the way the AI is getting, guys, it's like what's fortunate for us so far is that usually with AI they don't get the fingers right though.
Mm.
Like you'll see a picture and you're going, is that real or not? Then the guy
Yeah.
there's got polydactylism. He's got like 6 fingers, or they're like
Or
he's got two
nine. Yep.
thumbs. Or
Yeah.
I've seen one where the picture was a picture of an angel, but instead of his hand being the right way, his hand was the opposite, like it was his right hand with his left arm. I was like,
Right.
you almost
Oh,
had me. You almost had me.
that's wild.
So speaking of fake, you guys seen the whole situation with Paula White that's come out?
You mean
Oh
the
boy.
Witch of Endor? Tell me all
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Not quite that fake. But no, so
Okay.
this is something I haven't seen before. Somebody who's been able to masterfully pretzel bread mix, twist, and turn it into something that I've never seen before, all together in one sentence. She starts off and she's like, "Oh, we're gonna have a talk about Passover, and I'm gonna mix in Lent, and then just go ahead and throw Easter in on top of all that." And if you happen to get past that, which I already had to pause before I could get past that part of it,
Did you
then
say,
she
hold on, wait a minute?
wait a minute.
Something
This is
ain't right.
there's a one too
Something
many
right.
here. How many religions are we mixing in? We got Judaism
Oh,
or
I'm just getting them all in there.
Torah. Yeah, we got Catholic, we got Christian. Just throw them all together.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she goes on to say that if you sow a seed of $1,000, you're gonna have these special blessings that are
What?
automatically granted to you.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
So since when does Passover have anything to do with money or sowing a
Well, if
seed.
it did, nobody told me about it. Man,
I
it was
know,
just that the
right?
whole time.
You get this nest egg you've been sitting on this whole time.
Oh my gosh. I could have been
Lord have
fleecing the
mercy.
flock all these years, man. Why didn't somebody tell me?
And
Right.
this is the person who is advising the White House on
Yeah.
spiritual matters and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord have mercy.
So
So $1,000 is all it takes for the Passover blessing?
supposedly.
Hmm.
And these are good. I mean, these aren't just like, the typical, let's just throw out a couple blessings like you'll be rich and your cup will overflow or whatever. Like she put in some effort for this one. So she says these are the 7 blessings of Passover. Again, haven't heard of these before out of the Bible.
Okay.
But this is according to Exodus 23,
Okay.
according to her. So you guys can go and do your own research. And she says that if you do this seed of $1,000, you will be assigned an angel. You will be an enemy to your enemies. You will get.
Hey, I'm liking it so far. What else you got, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm writing this down right now.
It will give you prosperity. So then you got to mix the prosperity in
You
there.
got to get
Okay.
that one in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Okay.
sure.
Literally take the
Got to get your
sickness away.
$1,000 back.
Oh well, yeah, you got to get that back. Yeah, return of investment (ROI).
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
take away the sickness. So she's gonna
Okay.
a little disturbed there. Get down with the sickness.
Yeah.
Give you a long life. So now you've added years to your life. Even though the Bible says you can't add or subtract, you can now pay $1,000 to add years to your life.
Okay.
Cause increase for you, which sounds like also prosperity, but maybe in other ways, and a special year of blessing. So this $1,000 only covers 1 year, unfortunately. So somehow,
that's it.
yeah, the blessing only lasts for a year, even though you gained life at the end a year, more than a year from now.
So you're telling me there's an expiration on God's blessing?
100%.
Yeah.
So it's a sell by date.
What? All right. Wait a minute. So you got what's
Who
the deal with
falls
the?
for this?
Yeah. What? Like apparently people do. I guess so.
Who?
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Well, what's that verse? Says, "My people perish for a lack of knowledge." If you don't know, if this is all you heard and you think it sounds good and you don't have any information to audit it, I guess.
Well,
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but my goodness, like, if you are this dumb to fall for this stuff, you need somebody taking care of you 24/7.
Well,
Like,
you deserve to lose your $1,000.
Yep.
I hate to say it,
Fact.
but you almost you
Fact.
deserve to lose your $1,000 if that's something Oh my god!
You need that Michael Jordan meme. Stop it.
Right. I totally get the people who get tricked into, they desperately, feel like they need a miracle from God, and they don't know which way to turn, and something just hits them right or whatever. But when you hear stuff like this, like how?
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous.
So
So what was the deal with the angel? What's the blessing from the angel? I don't.
And what did she say? Whether it was a good angel or not?
Oh, hey, listen, you guys are asking way too many questions. But no, so the little bullet point says an angel will be assigned to you. So it's like, has a job now that is.
I don't want
So
to.
is this angel going to check your ticket and go, "Hey, I got to see your ticket.
Did you hear me?
I
Yeah,
got
you
to
want no
see if you
snitching?
paid the $1,000, or I'm out of here, man. Sorry."
Right.
My angel's a snitch.
Always telling on me, man. I know I done wrong. But no, and what else kind of kills me about this story is like, this is really profaning God's holy days. It's like we're getting into Passover. That's like God's like, hey, start your year, Passover, a holy thing. It talks about coming out of Egypt for the first time and then a remembrance every time after that. Passover is a big deal in the scriptures all the way through to the New Testament with Jesus Yeshua on his way out of the earthly body. The last thing he did on earth was have a Passover meal. And just to be like, oh yeah, let's just sprinkle some dumb theology on top of that and use the name as a draw you in, and then I can give you this story where you pay me $1,000.
Well, what's kind of scary about this a little bit, guys? The more I'm thinking about it, it's almost like the other side is trying to play in the arena that we're in. And they're trying to confuse it by all of a sudden. Let's be honest, you never hear them talking about Passover, right?
Right.
But all of a sudden, there's a blessing in this. All of a sudden, it's almost like, well, let's see how many people we can, fleece some money out of. And all of a sudden, and that's the part that kind of scares me, I'll be honest with you. because
Yeah.
this is what we don't need representing God's holy day at
Right.
all.
Right.
And I called her the Witch of Endor earlier, and I'm not kidding when I call her that. She's not a pastor to me, but but I that's the part where, like Jonathan, you're saying that blending. Oh, dude, that's rough.
No
And
bueno.
yeah, kind of
That's not
reminds
gonna work.
me of that magician. Was it a magician as an axe? Who I'm trying to remember if you guys
Oh,
can help
Simon
me
the
out.
Sorcerer.
There you go. Who was willing to pay money? He says,
Mm,
"Hey, I want what you guys got. How much does that cost?"
mm.
And Paul's like, "By the way, homie, you gonna get it?" And he's like, and he gets scared. He's like, "Oh, please don't let it happen to me."
Right.
But that's what I'm getting, that vibe, guys. Like kind
Mm-hmm.
of like that, where you can kind of pay for,
Right.
like, we're gonna pay for this blessing. We're gonna pay for our angel. We're gonna pay for. I mean, you said no sickness. You said long life. I
Yeah.
gotta be honest with you guys. This is starting to sound like the enemy in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Giving out these promises of long life and all this stuff, and surely you're not going to die, and no sickness and all this prosperity. And at the end of the day, I guess it's all about you. So it's like,
Yeah, and what's kind of crazy is, like, this used to be done like kind of behind closed doors or with a lot of smoke and mirrors. They're like, oh, let's hide it or try to sneak it in. Where now they're like, hey,
Right.
here's a full airport runway with all the signs, the neon lights, the arrows. This right here, this is what we're doing. We're actively in your face being done. We're actively telling you the wrong message, trying to push you somewhere you're not supposed to be. And what does it say? There's the wide road and the narrow road. Well, they got a full airport runway of, hey,
Right.
fall in line and follow the arrow straight down.
Right.
And it's gonna feel great while you're doing it until you hit the proverbial cliff and you fall off.
Mm, 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 mm.
I just wonder, guys, when is enough going to be enough? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, I just feel like the Father's probably just going to start intervening here and just start. I don't know. That's my hope, that he would just start intervening here and just start just doing something, because it's getting ridiculous. It's almost like every year they're trying to top each other or trying to
Right.
make it even more. And hey, look, be honest
Yeah.
with you, all the things that you just read, Jonathan, for $1,000, that's not a bad investment.
Yeah, just in
You get it.
case.
Listen, you
It's
get your
also
own
very
personal,
vague
you get your own
too.
personal angel. Okay, you get prosperity. You get. I wrote some of this down. You get no sickness and long life, and all for $1,000. That's a win-win. That's cheaper than paying for insurance the whole year.
So what happens if that doesn't pan out? What if they get sick? What if they die?
Oh
Hmm.
well, you just
Can
had
you
sin in your
sue?
life, I
No,
guess.
they
Can
just
you
didn't have enough faith. That's the
You didn't have
problem.
enough faith.
can
You
you
had sin
sue?
in your life, and
No, that wasn't part of the deal. You pay $1,000, you get it, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Hey,
Hey, wait a
no
minute. Hey, wait a
no
minute.
faith
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
required.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
No
minute.
faith required.
Wait a minute. There's a little bit of something messed up with this agreement here.
A little
You
bit of
said,
something.
yeah. Wait a minute. You
Yeah.
said, Jonathan, you said it said something, as I wrote it down, it says long life.
Hmm.
Well, you said this is only good for 1 year.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no,
How's,
the blessing is only
hey, it
for a
was the
year.
best
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
ever had.
Yeah.
This year was good. You lived long, but only you only had one good year.
Now, if you want to keep that trend going, so next year inflation is going to be $1,500. Okay,
Right.
so
It's got to be.
Oh man.
well, the lies just keep piling up.
Let me go ahead and say the quiet part out loud too. I mean, I know I've heard it said before too, but I kind of think that when we have preachers and teachers and pastors and things like that that do this kind of stuff, I mean, honestly, I think this is a type of judgment on
Hmm.
the people for not loving the truth.
Right.
You getting what you deserve because this is what you're after.
Hmm.
You're getting exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah,
And
it definitely tickles the ear.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sounds great.
But you're literally submitting to nothing biblical by going under this. That's ah,
But Kyle,
that's dangerous, bro.
the whole time she's talking, there's a guy playing a piano in the background. There's nice
Oh, that made
music.
Oh, well, hey,
yeah,
hey,
never mind.
if
That's
you'd have
it's all
said
good
that from
then.
the beginning, we'd have been
Right.
Yeah,
fine.
we could
There's
have just erased the last 10 minutes of our conversation.
Yeah, music stirs the soul. Music,
Outtake.
kind of makes you
There you
feel like
go.
you got to take some action. She's like, hey,
Okay.
if I add the sad song in the background, just like feed the dogs, or take care of the all the dogs that don't have a home, or all the kids that didn't get to eat. You got the sad song in the background. Well, you just have to do it now.
Got in the arms of an angel playing in the
Right.
background.
Exactly. Yeah, literally, your new angel you just got assigned.
There you go.
It all
That
works
would have
out.
been a perfect song for that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That was a tough
Lord.
watch.
Yeah,
Lord help
your angel, his or her angel's gonna go. That was dumb. Snap.
No, stop it.
Right. I'm rocking my spiritual gangster
I
shirt.
see that, man. I like it.
How do you spell that?
A lot.
That's what I'm saying. See, it's spiritual. It's not spiritual.
Mm.
It's spiritual.
Yeah, can you spell that out loud for me though?
SPRITUAL. Spiritual.
So for everybody who's just listening, that was an awesome spelling of the word spiritual.
Spiritual. That's how we do it in the South, man. Spiritual.
Yeah.
So
You got to
My-
take the I out of it.
see that less of me, more of him, right?
Exactly.
That's it.
My brother-in-law got me this shirt. And when I showed it, I had somebody mention this to me at a gas station. They're like spiritual. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Well, when I shared that with my brother-in-law, they had no idea that they had bought this shirt, so it was funny. I don't know if it was a misprint or what, but I love it. I rock it all the time anyway, just so I could say spiritual, you know. So
Yeah. I would if I had it.
Oh man. So we got some crazy stuff going on this past week.
Fill me all the way in.
Oh, there's no way you haven't heard about at least some of this stuff, man. You'd have to be living under all the rocks.
Under like a big stack of rocks, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But just remember, Jonathan is an overachiever, so he probably does have a stack of those rocks. So I was under that one, and that one over there.
They were stacked perfectly aligned. Yeah.
Yes.
The Bible said, "Leave no rock unturned." I did my job.
Nice.
So the suspense is killing me, Kyle. What do you have? What do you got, bro?
Well, speaking of turning rocks, well, they didn't turn rocks, but they did.
Never mind.
They did look under some really big stones.
Oh boy.
So that was that was pretty nice. I like the way we did that there.
Oh, no, it was intentional.
Yeah. They've been looking under some very, very big stones lately, specifically the pyramids. Y'all heard about that, hadn't you?
Which pyramids? The ones in Giza?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So they've used some technology, and I guess for anybody who doesn't know, but they've used some technology recently where they're scanning the ground underneath the pyramids, and they're finding that there's a lot more structure there than what everybody thinks. So it don't have a flat bottom. There's a whole lot more to it. So
did they use the X-ray goggles you can get from the back of the cereal box?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought so.
Let me show you some pictures here. This gets kind of wild. So this is kind of one of the first images that they come up with. And this is like, I guess infrared or something. I don't know. I don't know exactly what they use to do this, but if you look, you could see these columns. These are supposedly registered as. You got the numbers here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 columns under this pyramid. And they were getting readings off the size of these things too. So, and let me see if I can pull up another one. Let me pull up. Yeah, let's hold on just a second. Let me see if I can get a different one here. All right, here we go. So this,
looks like the exact same picture.
It was the exact same picture. Hang on. Hang on. Let's remove that and share this one. Get it together. Here we go. Boom. All right. So
wow,
this is their ground penetrating radar. So there's the pyramids themselves. And I don't know if you guys have ever been there or not, but these things are massive, right? So there's the pyramid, and then this is the structure that they are scanning with their ground penetrating radar. So they got these huge vertical shafts underneath them. And then there's even some bases down here beneath them as well. I think I got another picture too that I can use. That's
Well,
While
that
you're
first
pulling it
one,
up, Kyle, I mean, what are those supposed to be energy signatures or something? Like, how are they actually picking up? Like, it looks red,
density.
like something with heat involved.
yeah, it's not heat, but yeah, like density and stuff like that. So they're able to tell like that there's a solid something there.
So you have like the
Mm,
natural, like let's say it's limestone or whatever, and then you have a separate material that's got a different density level. So then they'll register at different colors.
Right.
So then it's just showing you there's a contrast between what's naturally occurring in the whole area versus these cylindrical
interesting.
shapes. Yeah.
Right. Well, then, so this image right here kind of give you a better idea. Let me move to full screen here. That'll kind of give you a better idea of what they kind of suspect this thing looks like. So here's your pyramid here, right? And then you got all these little rooms and stuff that's in here in the pyramid. And then this is what they're showing below. Now, this picture doesn't technically show all the stuff, but there's like these at the bottom of these columns, there's like huge rooms or
Hmm.
like squared off rooms is kind of what they're saying it is. So anyway, like I was saying, like you'd have to
That's
be
pretty
living
cool.
under a rock to not know about this lately, because this has been
Well,
everywhere, all over the news, all over, not all over the news, all over YouTube and that sort of stuff.
right. The news
Right.
is probably not going to like want to get that out there too much, but you know what's interesting about that picture, Kyle, is as I'm looking at it, the reason why I asked if it was energy signatures is because I've come to the conclusion that the pyramids was a power source, that they actually used it to pull energy from the ether, or however that Nikola Tesla type stuff.
Mm.
And that some people have actually said that they went out there and can still pull energy readings from the pyramid. So with what you're showing us right now, that just looks very similar to like and especially the artist rendition of what they think's underneath there. That looks like a power plant to me. It looks like something that would produce energy like big time. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. I think it's the way I see that picture, at least, like, yeah, I agree that there's like, the energy in the air. They've already proven that. But, that picture below with that water base to it, when we, even a modern day, and I'm going to use the word so we'll know what we're talking about, but the modern day battery, you have to have water in it. And so
yep,
Hmm.
you see this as maybe instead of a power plant, maybe it's an energy storage. And I wonder if that's more of the case of, you have the metal, you have the water, and you're able to take the energy that's harnessed from wherever, and that's able to store it. But I mean, everything we're looking at, this is all it's speculation for how long, right? Oh, check under the pyramids. They're hiding stuff under the pyramids. I've heard that almost my entire
yeah,
life, but now they're like actually doing something about it. Now you're actually starting to see some tangible evidence besides the
um,
the one explorer who found out that he found something, then died, mysteriously. Then all the artifacts were taken away, and you'll never find them. Where now you're like, hey,
mhm.
here's a picture. You're like, oh, well, this actually has some legs to it, and the pyramid had some legs to it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
But bump.
Well, I've looked at all those theories, and I've kind of thought along the same lines for a long time, but I've come into some new information over the course of the last several months. So this becoming a big thing now is honestly, it's kind of concerning to me,
Hmm.
um, because I think I know what this is, what these structures are for now. So, couple of things. One, um, we've heard some people say that there's no flood damage to the pyramids, so they had to have been built after the flood. However, there is actually flood damage for the pyramids in Giza.
Mhm.
So that lends me to believe that yes, it was there before the flood. There's because there is water erosion and that sort of thing. Not necessarily a place known to get a lot of water, right? And there's water erosion on them. And the fact that, when the pyramids were found, and they were excavated or whatever, you had a small portion of the top of these things sticking out of the sand. Most of these things were covered. Let me pull this back up. Most of them are covered, like kind of like up to here at least, if not completely covered by sand and stuff. So they've already been excavated down to the what we call the base of the pyramid. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that all of this stuff that's underground wasn't built underground. I think that was all above ground at one point in
Mm.
time. So that's the first aspect of it. The second aspect of it is, yes, I do think it had to do with a quote unquote power source. But I don't think it had so much to do with pulling electricity or storing. And I'll tell you why. So now this is not a very good picture to show what I'm talking about, but on the sides, and by the way, the pyramids are not 4-sided; they're 8-sided. You can't really tell it from the picture here, but there is right down the center of each side there is a section where they kind of V off, if you will, but it's just ever so slight. So that the pyramids are actually 8-sided if you don't count the bottom. You know what I mean? So for every side, there's 2 sides. Well, there's something that's not being shown in this picture here is there's also shafts that go down and down, and then like in one of the pyramids, the one they call Khufu or whatever, the one that they think was Khufu's pyramid, which I think is hilarious. By the way, there's never been any hieroglyphs found in any of the pyramids, right? And there's never been any mummies or tombs or none of that's been found in the pyramids whatsoever at all. Period. No bones, no nothing of any kind. So they claim that these are tombs, and I just do not think that's the case. Well, going back to the picture, right here, leading down this direction, and over here leading down this direction, going into what I believe is called the King's Chamber, if I remember correctly, there are these vent shafts that go down. Well, one vent shaft has been tested, and there's a certain type of chemical in there. I'm not going to get into what it is, but there's a certain type of chemical in traces of it in one vent shaft, and there's certain type of chemical that's traces have been found in another vent shaft. Well, what happens when those two things come together and you mix that with a little bit of a certain frequency, it produces a very explosive electrical energy. And then it's said that the capstones of these pyramids were gold. So, with all that said, my theory goes like this. And I'll be honest with you, man. I'm scared to even mention it because I don't know if the powers that be are even familiar with this, if they know what it's for. And I dang sure don't want to be giving away information. Tell you what, let me show this first. So this is pyramid structures underwater around Cuba. Now, of course, we have pyramids all over the earth, right? There's pyramids in China, pyramids in India, pyramids in South America, pyramids in America. It's even said that there's supposedly pyramids in Antarctica, right? So there's pyramids all over the place. They serve a purpose. Well, I have a theory. What do we know at least about the pyramids in Egypt? They align with some astronomical thing. You know, familiar with that?
The stars, star patterns.
Yeah, is Osiris one of them or something like that, or Orion or
Orion.
Yeah.
Orion? Yeah.
Hmm. So they align with Orion, the belt of Orion, right? That set of stars. I wonder if these weren't some ancient technology things that the fallen angels and Nephilim put together for the sake of attacking our Creator's heavenly bodies,
Mm.
for the sake of maybe loosening the bands of Orion, for the sake of potentially trying to destroy Yah's creation, make things happen that shouldn't happen, that Yah said never would happen. And I also believe that there's one more structure that played a huge role in all of these pyramids that doesn't exist anymore.
Can I guess?
Go for
Me
it.
first. Me first.
Go ahead, Joe. You got it.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
The
The time.
the
What?
Tower of Babel.
Yup.
Yep.
Yup.
Especially after
Yep.
reading Jubilees with the being like turned into the sand, I was like, "Hey, what's it covered by? Sand. Where'd all that sand come from?"
Mm.
That's crazy because I never put those pieces together, but it was I could see where you were going with it.
So yeah, that's I don't think it has anything to do with resurrection. I don't think it has anything to do with. I think these things have. I don't think that has anything to do with free energy for the people. I think it literally has to do with fallen angels and Nephilim um, building things that they shouldn't have been building to have some type of, whether you call it a weapon or something, to go against God's creation, to try to destroy his creation so that it wouldn't do what it was supposed to do.
Hmm.
Things that he said would last forever if they could destroy it, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or
Now I
even
have more to it, but I can't express all of my theory just yet because it's it's so good, but I don't know if I should say it, so I'm just gonna leave it right there for now. So
Well, one of the things I've heard a long time ago, Kyle, was that it was This is what some people have come up with because of the energy that would have possibly came out through the top of the pyramids, whether it was for free energy to attack the heavenlies or whatever. But there's a lot of people out there too who suspect it was used for weather modification.
hmm.
well,
Well,
I,
Exactly.
as theories go, it's like the tower was to what? Go and pierce the heavens to rise above the earthly realm that they were kicked down into and left alone. And so, if you have these now vertical facing weapons that are facing straight up in the sky, well, we know what's up there,
There you
it,
go.
the sky. So yeah, it definitely makes you wonder if they were like, hey, let's see if these were areas to get through. Let's see if we can
Mhm.
make it up to the heavens and maybe cause some damage to the firmament, the solid structure that's above us. Maybe we can work our way through in other means.
Yep, 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 yep.
Well, and Kyle, here's another thing because I mean we've done that, in America. We've tried to see what the up there looks like and see if we can blow it up, and
Mm-hmm.
to no avail, of course. But it even makes you wonder. And this was like pure speculation and only going off of what you said. And these are not my original thoughts, but if I wonder if God in tandem was like, I'm going to judge the earth with water, but also it's due to what these pyramid weapon things were doing. He's like, hey, if you want to open the windows of heaven, you know what?
Mm,
I will allow it. Oh, hey,
mm,
you broke through the firmament. Now you're flooded and you're dead.
mm.
So it was their own punishment to themselves. Like, oh, really? You thought it was a good idea to break through the giant water bowl above you? Yeah,
Wow.
you did. You cracked the roof open, and now you're dead. So how'd that work out for you?
Hmm.
I just had another idea too.
Oh boy,
It's
it's getting
scary. We're all
dangerous.
getting ideas. These are gonna get really good.
The pyramid was a super
So
cannon.
yeah. So at one point, I think I'm pretty sure you guys believe the same. If you don't, just but I believe that the landmass when everything was created, it was just one landmass. That was it.
Hmm.
And so during the
Yeah.
flood, everything starts breaking apart, continents start forming, things start shifting and all over the place. So we know that there's pyramids here in America, there's pyramids in South America, there's pyramids in China, there's pyramids, of course, in Egypt. So there's pretty much pyramids in Antarctica, pyramids everywhere.
Everywhere.
So it does make me wonder if you're onto something there, Kyle, with they were using this to either penetrate the heavenlies somehow or to use it to fight, or to set up whatever it was. And then when the fall was like, you know what? That's it. Enough's enough. So during the flood, and like you said, the pyramids are covered. When they were first discovered, they were covered. Everything,
Yeah.
majority of that whole place is covered in sand.
Yeah.
And so the strategic alignment of all these pyramids got scattered as well. And I
Hmm.
guarantee you there's more of this that we don't even realize is hidden underground. Matter of fact, the ones when you guys are talking about China, that was probably about 15 years ago. I remember there was a very small article that came out and they had found pyramids in the ground
Yeah.
in China. And they said that the pyramids under the ground were actually bigger than the ones in Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it makes me wonder during the flood time, God's like, that's enough. Going to break up this party, make everything, and it's not going to function the way it was intended to function. But then after post flood, we get some more yahoos with a great idea of going, hey, let's build this tower. So it makes me wonder if all this is connected back to they're trying to do that one more time.
Hmm.
Trying to do that one more time. We're going to build this gigantic. Matter of fact, it's not going to be multiple pyramids all over the place. We're just going to build this one really gigantic structure, and we're going to make sure we get to the heavenlies. And when we read that part of it, the entire Bible, if you guys remember, God Himself said, whatever they put their minds to do, they're capable of doing it.
Hmm.
So, and when you're reading it, it's funny because they already knew what was going to happen. They said, hey, let us hurry up, lest our languages change and we can't do this. And then God comes down and, of course, He confuses them with their language and they no longer can build the tower and then He destroys it. So,
Right.
this makes me wonder if post flood, this was their last ditch effort of trying to do that. And God's like, nope, you tried it before and it's not going to work this time either.
Hmm.
Well, let me share this one more image too, real quick. So these things are, first of all, the precision of these structures are more precise than we can do right now with all of our modern technology. Never mind the fact that we don't have any equipment that can move these huge stones.
Right.
Never mind that, right? We don't have the ability to be as precise in our building as they did these structures. So look, check this out. This image here kind of shows the idea of the shafts that are in there, and you'll notice that this shaft and this shaft, or excuse me, this one and this one is aligned to go up to what they call the king's chamber, and then this star Sirius lines up. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. This star Sirius lines up with this little portion down
Are you
here.
serious right now?
Yeah, right. And Ursa Major lines up right
What is the
here.
major in?
So anyway, I guess so. These are the shafts, and so that they're precise on not only the cornerstones and the angles and the north, south, east, west directions. Like they're precise on all of those levels, but they're also perfectly aligned with the stars and their correlation. And I mean, it's just it's as perfect as it can be.
Hmm.
And what's really crazy, and this is something that a lot of people don't know, is a lot of people do know that the pyramids of Giza seem to be lined up with Orion, the belt of Orion, right? However, what most people don't know is that every set of pyramids found is in alignment with an astronomical uh, sign in the sky. As a matter of fact, because of that precision, they've been able to use the astronomical signs in the sky to locate pyramids.
I was wondering if they could reverse engineer it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there is a reason for this.
How about this one?
And I think we're getting
Aliens. Aliens.
I think we are getting closer and closer to finding out why, and potentially maybe seeing I don't know, some of that technology coming back again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You
It's a
want to hear?
scary thought, man.
Well, would you guys like to hear one more thing about the pyramids that I learned probably a couple years ago?
No.
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm
Okay.
busy.
Yes.
So when you were speaking about the stones, right? And
Mhm.
everyone thinks that they were built on the Hebrew slaves built the pyramids and they used rope and logs and yada yada. So we know that that's
Hebrews are strong, right?
yeah, real strong.
Yeah, they even built in America. They crossed the water. They built over the Great Wall of China. They just
Yeah.
figured it out. It was
Yeah.
easy.
These guys are awesome. Anyway,
So,
Built
so we
underwater
know
too.
you
yeah.
already said earlier, Con, and I know this is something everybody knows that we cannot replicate this today. We don't have the technology to move not even one of those
Right.
really.
Right.
And I've seen multiple videos where they've taken the largest cranes and tried to move what would be the equivalency of the weight of one of those stones.
Mhm.
And the cables are snapping, the machines are, about to fall over, all that stuff.
Yep.
Well, some guy, and it's somewhere on the YouTube world, this guy has a video and he talks about that these were not quarried stones, that they were it's actually poured. That
I think I
all
think
the
so
stones.
too.
Yeah, I think so because they said when they went and did some core samples, it wasn't 100% natural.
Mm.
So, this, what is it? I'm making this up. I don't know. I think it's like 400, 500 miles away. It's supposed to be where they quarried the stones and
Right.
brought them. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, okay, whatever. But when they went and did some core samples, what they found out was that this was multiple materials inside of these stones and that it was not quite the consistency of what our today concrete is,
Hmm.
but that they immediately went, this isn't a natural stone. This has actually been poured in place, and that's why people say you can't even get a human hair in between there. The tolerances are super tight. Well, if you're
Right.
literally pouring on top of another stone, you're going to get that perfect pour, and you're going
Right.
to have those tolerances that are there that are perfect. And
Mm.
so that right there was a game changer for me. I was like, wow. So, but can you imagine now? Not only, all right, first of all, I've poured concrete. I picked up the 50, 60, and 80-pound bags of concrete and not even anywhere close to building something that big, okay? And it's a chore. So we go from ropes and tree logs to, we got like these giant mixers out there, guy with the hard hat on. Hey, come on, bag it up over here. You got the pour going on. Guys over there smoothing it out in the pour. And I'm like, either way, even if it's all poured, can you imagine? Can you just imagine that the closest thing that I could think of is the Hoover Dam? I've seen the videos, the historical videos of the
And how
Hoover
long did
Dam
that take?
being poured.
How long did that take to build?
Oh my gosh, I forgot now. Yeah, a long time.
It took a long time, yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, it didn't take very long.
No, if you were quarrying rock and building the Hoover Dam, yeah, no, what? But
Right.
what's
Right.
crazy
Five,
about
five
that
years.
when you
5 years.
learn how long?
5.
5 years
5
for the
years,
Hoover
yeah.
Dam. Yeah. Now think about this. Imagine if you had, I don't know, 100 times more men building it. And we're not talking about government employees, right? That have to
No, that'd have been about 25, 30 years on that one.
exactly, right? I mean, we're not talking about, an on ramp, government paid for, government sponsored project where, your municipality is going to build this on ramp and it's going to take the next 12 years to get done. Now, no, this is, I'm sure people were working nonstop, kind of, soon daylight to dusk at least, and there was a lot of them making mud and doing whatever had to be done. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm assuming it probably got done fairly quickly.
Hmm.
That's my thought,
yeah.
especially if it's mixing mud. I mean, that's a lot.
Well, it's a little bit more mud. Literally they were pouring concrete is what they were doing, but
Well, you
just
know what I
say,
mean.
but it
Yeah.
was a better, yeah, it was a better consistency than what we have today.
Yeah. You know what they said when they were doing it? How to take a core of the poor.
I would really like. I mean, you know, they're going to excavate this stuff. They they kind of have to now, right?
If they're allowed to.
Ah,
You know,
I mean, everything's been blocked so far.
here's the funny part is,
eh,
guys. Here's the funny part is all right. So we talk about conspiracy. We talk about this is what this channel is for, right, guys? You know, it's having a conversation.
sure.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
So I think they've always known this. I honestly do. You can't tell me that all these intelligent people out there who've seen all the core samples that's ever been taken, and when they go, you know what, this isn't a natural stone, and then but we can't let that narrative fly. We have
Well,
to let the narrative fly that it was built on the backs of slaves, and they use ropes and
yeah. Well,
logs.
it was leaked a few years ago. I don't remember how long ago it was, but it was within the last 15 years. It was leaked that there was more to the structure underneath what we call the base of the pyramid.
Mhm.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, and then that information just kind of
Kind of.
quietly disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Joe, to your point, I mean, if we're gonna go down the road, so there's another layer to that of why it was chosen that it was the Hebrew slaves specifically that built the pyramids, because there's a agenda that's crossed out through a majority of our history that it's always at the detriment of one people group, that's everything's bad has always happened. And so it was another way to say, hey, not only that, but look at how many times we've been taken advantage of and how many times that we were the lesser in the scenario. And we don't even have you know it's just one of those stories where I would hate for that to be true, but it does prove out a narrative of now the Old Testament is true and it points to one people group, and then that
Yeah.
same story kind of carries through through a majority of history of, well, let's put the microscope back on us. Everything kind of
Yeah.
comes back to us, and I'll leave that there. But there was a strong example of, yeah, if this is poured, well, clearly it wasn't on the back of anybody, and especially not a slave group that would have been brought in from out of town.
Right. Now there is another kind of fringe theory that's out there too.
All the theories.
So one theory is that, and this is just regarding the pyramids in general in Egypt, is that which I don't really buy into this, but uh, and Enoch they're supposedly the pillar of Enoch that was set up, and a lot of people I say a lot of people, there are some people that believe that the pyramids, specifically the Great Pyramid, um, is that pillar of Enoch. I don't necessarily align with that, but hey.
Yeah, and Kyle, you mentioned earlier, you said that the pyramids may have been there before the flood.
Well, there is sign of water erosion on the pyramids. Yes, some people will say that there isn't, but there
Well,
absolutely.
it's not only the pyramids, but it's everything out there.
Right. Yeah.
So what I'm asking there is, if the pyramids were prior to the flood, does that then automatically delete the scenario of the Exodus was the story where the pyramids were built and it was Hebrews that were even involved in that story at all?
Yes.
Doesn't that like literally remove that completely?
Yes.
Okay. So like a false story that's been carried throughout history that we're stuck with?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll leave it there.
Yep.
I'll leave it right there. Just leave it right there.
Well, we don't need to search below the surface of that one.
That's right.
Oh man.
All right, Kyle. Since you have one, I got one too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So
Better be good to follow that, man.
I think it is. I think it's very good. So apparently, the CIA has found or discovered the lost Ark of the Covenant.
Like the Bible one?
Yeah, like the Bible one. Not the Indiana Jones one,
okay.
not
The CIA has
of all
discovered
people, the CIA.
the Ark of the Covenant. Okay.
Yes, apparently. Well,
right.
apparently.
Did they find it in at Trump's house?
Well, somebody said that might have been the right one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I've been holding it for a very, very long time.
CIA stands for Christians in Authority.
I was the only one allowed to touch the Ark and not die.
Is that?
Oh man!
Wow.
The only one.
No polls for me. We got this.
Oh yeah.
So
apparently,
is that why he's the chosen one for them over there?
It might be. I mean,
Hey,
yeah.
he's on the coin, right?
So, all right. So, what do you mean the CIA found it? What are you talking about?
Let me hold on. I'm gonna pull up this real quick for us so we can look at it. Okay.
Oh, you're bringing facts to the
I'm gonna
situation.
bring some facts to the
Don't
situation.
ruin a good time with facts.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. Y'all with me?
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go.
As long as you don't tell me about a story about some mind reader or something.
Yeah,
Oh
there
boy,
we go. We still with it?
it's
We in
up.
it to win it? Where we
Yeah.
at? All right.
Did the story come from Timu?
From Timu. Hey, look, man, you can buy the Ark of the Covenant all day long at 90% off. I mean, you can't get a better deal than that. That's better than the Paula White selling you for $1,000.
All right.
All right, so here it goes. It says it says paging Dr. Indiana Jones says the CIA claimed to have confirmed. Now they're confirming,
Mm-hmm.
no longer speculation, the existence of the Ark of the Covenant by way of remote viewing. What does that mean? Let's read. Let's read
Oh
some more.
wow.
Yeah, AKA extrasensory perception or ESP, alleging the mysterious and sacred object is guarded by entities with an unknown power. A recently resurfaced declassified document claims. So here's the thing. This is something that they're saying from 1988.
Hmm.
It says
Oh,
in here,
okay. So this is declassified
this
stuff
is
then.
declassified. So this isn't like they just found it. They stated they've been done found it.
So
Been done.
they took the men who were staring at goats and got them to find the Ark of the Covenant.
It says in a remote viewing session on December 5th, 1988, remote viewer number, so we don't get a name, he just got a number. He or she,
Okay.
they're number 32,
Okay.
was tasked with identifying a target that, unbeknownst to them, ended up being the storied Ark of the Covenant, according to document, which was declassified on August 8, 2000, and has been circulated on social media. I'm gonna be honest with you, if it's been declassified that long, why are we just like, why is this now like gaining some legs on it?
Bro.
So it's
Well,
funny how they keep talking about the remote viewer.
So are they claiming that they actually have it in
mm,
their possession, or that just some dude claims he saw it in his
yeah.
in his dreams or something? What are
So
they
me in
saying
my
here?
dreams.
Oh, is that supposedly it? What is that? Go back up.
Says which this guy is in it right there. But anyway, I think it says it actually talks about that a little bit. So here's the actual document.
Oh wow.
December 5th, right there, 1988. So it means it's all legit, right? I mean, it's right here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We literally, we have it right here. It says the target is hidden underground. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dark and wet were all aspects of the location of the target. So number 32 said, "Hey, I found something, and it's in a place that's dark and wet, and it says the purpose of the target is to bring a people together. It has something to do with uh, ceremony, memory, homage, the resurrection. There's an aspect of spirituality, information, lessons, and the historical knowledge far beyond what we now know."
Mm.
So then, remote viewer number 32 then expounded on the more mysterious aspects of what they saw. So that says they saw. I thought we are dealing with only one person, one viewer here, but maybe they all got together and their brain started morphing or something. I don't
Wait,
know.
does it mention what the other one's number was? Because I bet it was 33.
You think it was what?
33.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to have the 32nd and 33rd degree Masons doing this, right?
That's
Right.
it, boy. So here you go. It says target is a container. This is what they said they saw.
Target is a container.
It's a
Okay.
container. This container has another container inside of it. The target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver. The target is similar in shape to a coffin and is decorated with the seraphim. This target is located somewhere in the Middle East. So as good as this person is, they're like, it's somewhere over there.
Over the
So
rainbow.
that's it. So it's somewhere in the Middle East, as the language spoken by individuals present seemed to be Arabic. Visuals or surrounding buildings indicated the presence of a mosque or domes. Individuals in the area were clothed in virtually all white, had black hair and dark eyes. One figure I
Hmm.
poemed.
Wait, what?
I'm trying trying to
What
read
had
that
what had what had what? Who had hair and dark eyes? What was this? What I missed?
The
Say
people
that again.
it's saying the people that are there where the ark is
Mm.
were
Okay.
clothed in all white, had black hair and dark eyes, and one figure I honed in on wore a mustache.
Okay, so that could be
Oh,
me,
come
I
on, man.
guess.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. This sounds like somebody who's like in one of those big gatherings. And he's like, I see someone with back pain right now. It's like, oh, it's me. It's me.
Speaking of,
So the target is hidden. It's underground, dark and wet, where all aspects of the location of the target. Yeah. So yeah, that's all we got.
so
And
I'm gonna tell you what that sounded like to me. A container underground. It sounded like they found a royal septic tank covered in silver and gold in a dark place that was wet.
I mean, I gotta be honest with you, that was the most vague.
Right.
Like, I think any of us, I could have came up with something better than that. So the people there had dark hair, dark eyes, and the guy had a mustache.
Well, Joe, to what you were reading earlier, though, those original things you were talking about, where it's like underground or dark or whatever, those were prompts that that guy was given. So they said, see if you can find this stuff. So then he didn't just say, hey, use your remote viewing, whatever even that is, right, and go find something. It was like, no, I want you to find something, but it's gonna look like this. It's gonna be here, and it's gonna look, it's gonna be in this area. Well, yeah, of course your answer is going to be in the realm of what you were told to look for. It's like walk around my house and find the cup with the Spider-Man on it. Okay, well, I'm just going to walk around your house till I find it. Like you've already guided me to the answer. So yeah, I thought that
Well,
that test was very
yeah.
suspect.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about it being hidden in a dark, wet place and all that junk, I mean, it could be describing one of your kids' bedrooms right now. It's like it's just a place you don't want to go into. It's like
Right.
stay away.
Well,
But
and
yeah,
what I was gonna say also real quick, what was interesting too is I know I watched this video a while back. It was called like Belly of the Beast, and it was saying like in DC there's like a chamber under one of the buildings there that's like underground, and there's this black coffin thing down there, and it's like surrounded by water. So as you were reading that, I was like, that sounds like something like I've seen, but not personally, but I've seen before, and that's a part of that inauguration thing where they're like waiting to see what happens, and so they have this thing that's just been there, and people don't talk about it, and then we never bring it up again. But
push it
it's
down deep. Don't
yeah,
ever come back up.
exactly, and it's underground, it's dark, and it's wet, and I was like, I wonder if they were trying to say we have a secret, and if you can find it then we're caught. But if you find something else, then we're good. So now it's look over there, not over here. Just makes me wonder sometimes
Oh,
with
I
stuff like that.
mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, that's for them to be like, we're 100% confident we found it. Really? So where is it?
Right.
Somewhere dark and wet and just, some people speaking Arabic. Okay, so this guy has the power to be a seer,
Mhm.
but we can't give you nothing any more specific than that. I don't know. It's just, yeah,
So okay, so they don't have possession of this thing. They just
they
kind
do
of
not
have a
have possession of it.
general idea of where it's at,
Yes,
and that's about it.
Unless Trump
yes.
has it.
Well, yeah, right, right, right. So yeah, they said that was a replica, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Well,
Nice.
doesn't
I'll
Lago
tell
the
you what, that
lake?
was a really nice looking replica, though.
Right.
It probably it is made of gold, ain't it?
I
The
think
one that he
so.
has.
I think
Yeah,
so. I mean, it looks tight.
Yeah. If he puts
I
it in the
mean
basement, we got to be worried.
he could afford it. I know, right?
Well, if it ends
So
up
so
being in the Oval Office with him, it's like,
so what theories do we have out there? We have this one obviously, which supposedly came out in 2000. We're just hearing about it 25 years later.
Mhm.
well, no,
But but
it came. They said that they discovered this in 1988,
right, but
and
I'm saying the declass
the document was declassified in
right.
2000.
Right.
Oh, you know what? Now
What?
I know. See, the dude was right. 88 Reasons Why the World's Going to End in 1988. If
Yep.
they did just release this information then, Jesus could have returned.
Yep,
Well,
it's their
You know?
fault, man.
then in 2000 we
So,
had Y2K, so we almost had the end of the world when they released it.
Mhm. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
so I have a theory.
Oh boy.
Jonathan, don't look at me that way.
I'm not looking.
I know. That's what
I'm
I'm saying. He's like looking away.
Swan.
Don't look at me, Schwan. So anyway, so you guys have heard of Ron White, and everybody's heard of Ron White. There's no surprise there.
I was about to go down
Um,
that same road.
So what's interesting is I looked it up because I wasn't sure exactly when Ron Wyatt claimed to have found the Ark of the Covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Now he claims that he was walking and he was in the city, he was in Israel, he's walking through Jerusalem, and he felt something tap him on the shoulder. And I hope I'm telling this correctly. They said he felt something tap him on the shoulder or get his attention and said, the Ark of the Covenant's over in Jeremiah's grotto. And literally he looks over and he's looking down where this whatever speaking to him said that's where it's at.
Pile of rubble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he starts digging. And so I thought it was later, but apparently it was pretty early. All the resources I looked at said that he had actually claimed to have found it on January 6, 1982.
Interesting.
Now it gets even crazier from there because he spends now. I think if I'm trying to remember, I've watched a lot of videos. I'm trying to remember, but he literally started digging, had to stop. Now he got permission. He did all the right things. He went there and got permission to dig, and they're probably like, yeah, knock yourself out, like, whatever. And so, but he would leave, go back home, work some more, save money up, come back. He's got his sons involved, his daughter's there with him. There's some really cool videos online, but he claims not only did he find it, but that he during when they get down there where the chamber is, that there was a fella that he was a small guy, so they sent him down the hole. Hey, you go in there, you tell me what's in there. So this guy immediately comes back out and he is scared to death. And that he's like, I'm out. You're never gonna see me again. And Ron's like, okay, I know. He knew then this is probably the room. And so he prays to the Father, says, hey, will you give me permission to go in there? So the story gets even crazier. So Ron says he goes into the room. Not only does he see the Ark of the Covenant, but there's two angels there. Or at least two, I think. I'm pretty sure it was two angels that were there. Or at least one angel was there.
Just leaning against
And
the wall.
he's having a conversation with them. And they're the ones that actually take the lid off of the ark so that he can see and verify to see the original the tablets for the 10 Commandments, Aaron's staff, or and all that stuff. It's like, and he's apparently got pictures, videos, and then it gets even crazier because you guys know this. He says he claimed to have found the blood of Messiah because right above it, where he claims that the ark was or is where they crucified the Messiah, and that he said you can see the crack in the ceiling, and that there's blood on the mercy seats. I'm like, wow. So, but I'm thinking,
awesome story.
Hey, look, I'm not going to knock it because here's the thing. So I started researching him a little bit more. So he finds the Ark of the Covenant, supposedly. We don't know. And I don't say that like I can't call the man a liar. I mean, he might have did find it. And guess what? If this seer or whoever this person was, what they call him again? What were they called?
I think that's what the word you use, seer.
ESP.
No, they called him something else. What do they call him? The
viewer.
I got it right here. Oh, the remote viewer. There you go.
Yeah.
So the remote viewer is claiming that it's in a dark, wet place, and there's people speaking Arabic. This is in 1988. Ron Wise said he found it in 1982. All those other things. So there's some things kind of adding up here, but then I start looking at his track record. So in 1982, Ark of the Covenant. 1984, he finds the real Mount Sinai.
Supposedly.
Well, no, it's the same one. I think it is personally with all the evidence that's there.
I personally believe that Sinai is the real deal.
1997. I'm sorry, 1992. He discovers Sodom and Gomorrah, and I do believe that there's multiple people who went there and lit the rocks on fire and the pure sulfur, all that stuff.
Yep.
Excuse me. 1997. He finds this is where he goes to the Red Sea, and they take photos of the chariot wheels and all that stuff that would have been from the Greater Exodus.
Yep.
1987. So I forgot to put that one there. 1987, he discovers what we believe to be Noah's Ark. And according to what I found online, he's actually discovered over 100 different archaeological sites. All go back to biblical times.
I
so
have
his track record, huh?
Go ahead, but I'll address it in a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, so his track record so far has been really good with finding different things and all this stuff. I personally think there's a really good chance that he did find the Ark of the Covenant, myself personally. But what do you say, Kyle?
I'm going to disagree.
Yeah, I know you were,
Um,
and I hate
now
you now.
Mount Mount Sinai, I've seen enough stuff there to be convinced of that. Uh, Red Sea crossing, I've seen enough evidence, assuming it's real, which I believe it is.
Hmm.
I believe that to be true as well. Um, the Ark and the Ark. I have problems with both of those. So
Oh,
let me
okay.
let me start with the boat first of all. So supposedly found Noah's Ark. Um, it's pretty much the right size, right? But here's the problem. They have done some testing of some things that they have found there, and one of the things that they found there that doesn't line up is various metal things like
Like the
brackets and nails and stuff like that.
rivets.
Stuff that was not used in the building of the ark, at least not what we have defined in scripture as to how he is to precisely build it. Yeah, the instructions that were given in scripture,
Hmm.
there's no things that shouldn't have been there are there. So I kind of lean towards no on the Noah's Ark thing.
Hmm.
And I really hate to bust people's bubble, but I got a scripture that's going to me, it is the literal nail in the coffin for anybody who claims to have the Ark of the Covenant, the real Ark of the Covenant. So who do we have? We have Ron White in 1982 that claims to have found it. Then we got the CIA dudes in '88 supposedly found it. Men that stare at goats. Then we have
Well, there's a theory too that the Ethiopians have it.
I'm getting
Mhm.
there. Yep.
I got you. I got you.
we got the Ethiopians that claim to have it, which they don't allow anybody to see. First of all, and the only two people that I'm aware of that's ever been able to go in to see it is people who paid an extraordinarily large amount of money. One person went in there and all they saw was just a wooden box that didn't look anything like what the Bible describes.
Right.
The other individual that was allowed to go in that paid an enormous amount of money, um, like it was over 10 grand, if I remember correctly, was told right before he walked in, if God wants you to see it, you'll see it. Otherwise, you won't.
Mm.
Oh
And then he
wow.
walked into a room where there was nothing in there.
What was that? The new Emperor's clothes or something like that,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Emperor's new clothes?
yeah, exactly. So that's the evidence that we have with the Ethiopians, right? And then also the modern Zionists claim to have it, and they say that they're going to reveal it when it's time. That it'll be revealed when the Messiah is ready to be revealed. So I mean, there's a lot of theories out there, right? And I personally don't think any of them are true. And the reason why, let me pull this up real quick.
Do not confuse the situation with facts, Kyle.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 19. Then God's temple in heaven was opened, and the ark of his covenant was seen within his temple. So his temple that is in heaven was opened, and inside it was the ark of his covenant.
All right. I do have something for you on that.
To me,
Yeah.
that
Okay. I think Jonathan may be going the same way I am.
now, if y'all are going on the route of this is the one that's always been there, and we had a copy of it down here, kind of
Yes.
thing.
Because it says it's his Ark
Right.
of the Covenant.
The earthly one is called the ark of his covenant. Also, they are both
And
But
called the
it's a
ark.
copy of what's
If
already in the heavenlies.
I just I don't know. I don't know. I think that this is what that is.
and Kyle, I have a question
Personally,
for you in that regard, because again, I'm neutral. I don't. It doesn't matter to me really.
I
We
get to have an opinion.
don't. But whenever we look at that, I know that with Yeshua or Jesus, when we look at his story, he said he was the only one who descended was the one who ascended, right? So
Mhm.
he's the only one who's come down and gone back up. So not Enoch, not Elijah, anybody else. They all died
Right.
and they're in the dirt somewhere
Right.
today. Only Yeshua's made it up there. So it makes me wonder: is anything else from the earthly realm made
Yeah.
it up to the heavenly realm? And it seems as though only thing that can pierce through the veil is a spirit, and something made with spirit and water. So unless the ark would be of spirit and water, nothing else has been able to go up through the angels, Yeshua, the Holy
Yeah.
Spirit, and like that's it. I don't think we have any other examples. So that would be my quick question. There would be, if he could take the ark up, why not take a whole bunch of stuff up? And then just delete the conversation from all the dumb of like, oh, we have the ark, we have the big boat, we have this, we have this. He could take all of it up and just remove the whole story altogether, and
Right.
then no one would ever find it. So those
Yeah.
are that's the only thing I would ever wonder is if there
I
was an earthly made thing, why would he take it up to the
and I,
heavenly?
I agree with you, Jonathan. I couldn't see something that was earthly made being taken into the heavenly realm. That's something that's made by man's hands.
But I like where your
Well,
point's
well,
going though.
well. It wasn't something. It was it was fashioned by man's hands, but it
Yes.
was not
Yes.
made by man's hands.
What?
The Okay, hear me out. So what was the Ark of the Covenant made from?
Acacia wood and gold,
It's made from gold.
some poles.
Gopher wood and or acacia wood, whatever you want to call it. Gopher wood and gold, right?
Mhm.
Wood and gold. Who made those things? God made those things.
Well,
God,
he made us too, but we can't go to heaven either.
man did not make those things, right? But we also hear about his kingdom and streets of gold and all this other stuff, right? Come on now. It's stuff that's supposedly there in his kingdom. What about the Garden of Eden? The garden that was
All right.
placed there. I believe that is in the heavenly realm now. Why couldn't? And I believe that that's coming back. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I don't know where you stand on that. But if a whole garden can go up there
All right. So let me
that's
ask you
full
this.
of wood and
Let me let me
probably
let,
gold,
let me
you
ask
know,
you this, Caldo.
why not?
Okay, so if he already has an original, why would he need the one down here? Why would that be the one spoken of in Revelation? Why wouldn't it be the actual Ark of the Covenant that's in the heavenlies that was copied to be here? You see what I'm saying? If he's already got the original there, I don't need the one that's down here. The
Are
one
we
that was
ever?
down here was for us, for our benefit, and that was mainly the part of that was it wasn't, So if I've got the original, I don't need to copy.
Does it ever say anywhere in Scripture that the ark was a copy? No, it says that the tabernacle was a copy. It doesn't say that the ark was a copy.
Well, it said the tabernacle and everything in it, the utensils, the table, the menorah, the seven lampstand that was in just sits before him. I think all those were copies, right?
Does it really say, does it say that?
I'm pretty sure everything that they fashioned was Moses got to see it and he got to tell them what it looked like and they got to build it.
Yeah, Betzalel and Aholiab, I think their names
Yeah.
were.
Well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I apologize. I really don't remember that being a copy. Um,
Well, and
I
then Kyle,
mean,
also then the
anyway,
question would be, what about the items inside the ark? Would those also be taken up, like the tablets, the manna, and the budded rod? And then the book that was on the side. Ooh, there we go. There was a
man,
book on the side to be a testimony against man, right?
right. So there was so inside the ark there was stone that was cut out by Yah.
Hmm.
There was Aaron's rod, which is a natural tree branch that was budded, right? Which is something that doesn't happen, right? That's a
With
miraculous
almonds.
thing, right? And then you also have manna, which is angels' food, bread from heaven in there, right?
Mhm.
I can
So
smell Heaven's Bakery right now.
I know, right? If you get that reference, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Anyway, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about it. I think that there's so much fake out there.
Yeah.
Um, and if it is here and it's going to make an appearance, oh boy, Hmm. I don't think that it's going to make it. If it is here and it's going to make an appearance in the future, I don't think that it's going to make an appearance in a third man-made temple.
Mm.
I think it will be in the original tabernacle. Like that will be put on display again and will be set up there. It will be set up in there.
You know,
God never ordained a third temple to be built ever.
right.
Right.
So if
Here's
somebody bad's going to go sit in the holy place and claim himself to be, the man, it ain't going to be in the Zionist Judaism version of a temple.
Mm.
well,
It
here's
just
here's
ain't.
the thing too. The religion's always been used to manipulate. It's been used for power. It's been used. So, be honest with you, I think whatever shows up, it's either going to be a fake, a copy of a copy, um, and I think it's going to be used for the purpose of putting on a show. Because we all, from the movies, Indiana Jones, all that stuff, it's always been about being able to tap into this power.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the power from it is from Yah.
Mm.
Exactly.
And I'm going to tell you right now, you are not tapping into anything, okay? Because the Philistines stole it, and guess what happened? They got some bad boils. Yeah, when they put it in the same room with their idol,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
idol
Dagon.
got smashed to pieces. For one, and number two, they got covered in boils. They were so miserable to the point they're like, please take it back.
Right.
Right.
We're done.
Yeah, we've had enough, and yeah, so there's something to this. I think there's a reason why this thing's been released for the last 25 years. That all of a sudden, like, well, you didn't really tell anybody that I know of. This hasn't been something that's been certain, but all of a sudden, so guess what? All of a sudden, we got pyramids, and all of a sudden, we're getting told things that, oh, by the way, there's these large structures below the pyramids, and we just, and all of a sudden, it's being released, and you're like, going, why? Because normally you would be keeping this to yourself. All of a
Mm.
sudden, the Ark of the Covenant's coming back into the conversation. Oh, we have released documents from 2000, and we had this remote viewer, seeker, or whatever he was, and he saw that it was it's super vague, by the way. And all of a sudden, this is now making the news, and it's like there's got to be. What I don't want us to do is, or people out there, get caught up in the
Yeah,
whatever. It's like,
sensationalization.
okay,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
it that we're not being told, or what's being done that's we're missing here? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like all of a sudden, you're just going to tell us what this is now,
Right.
or
We love we love
So,
telling you secret plans. It's
yeah.
great.
so there. Okay. Let's just assume for just a second that all this is correct and that it is still here on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the heavenlies. Then that actually does open up the possibility that what Trump has is actually what it is and not a replica. I mean, we
Could
have
be.
to we have to have that as a possibility.
Oh,
Could
well,
be.
yeah. I mean, everything's possible at that point. But yes, it
Yeah.
is on the list of possible.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, did he turn around? Did he give that to somebody else though?
I think he was supposed to return it to Israel or like gift it to Israel as a part of the peace,
Mm-hmm.
Abraham
Mm,
Accords and all that stuff. So that's where it got interesting for me was not only do
mm,
I have it, but there's a kind of a story behind the situation. It's not just like this is just neat. I keep it in my office. It reminds me to keep my faith in God and keep the 10 Commandments as I lead. It's more of like maybe a bargaining chip or a little offering of goodwill to maybe you scratch my back, I scratch your back, maybe.
Yeah, it's
Just
going to be very, very, very interesting to see how this plays out in the coming years. And I don't know, guys. I just think that all of a sudden when they start just divulging information, kind of like going, there's a reason why.
yeah.
That's the part where I'm trying to figure out why.
Hmm.
little,
Yeah, don't
little,
don't believe everything, but keep your ears tuned. You're like, what?
right, right. I mean, I don't know. It's just too much, man. It's just too much. We got the pyramid stuff coming out. We got the Ark of the Covenant stuff coming out.
Oh, and we just talked about more Dead Sea Scroll stuff coming out, so you got more scriptures coming out. You're like, hey, just start lining these things up. You got a full hand, a full house deck of cards going on here in a minute.
Yeah, yeah. Stuff might be getting real, folks.
Yeah,
You know what I
getting
mean?
real quick.
Some news and some prophecies and some admittance from governments and agencies about 2025 being interesting, for a multiplicity of reasons. I just think there's some stuff coming up. I don't know what it is, but it's some stuff.
Ooh. Wait a minute now.
I don't want to.
Okay. Whoa. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
Hello, can
How
you hear me
about
now?
this? How about
I'm
this?
offended.
So Trump gave somebody in Israel, a group in Israel, the Ark of the Covenant. Is that correct?
That's my understanding. If he's either going to or has already done it.
Okay. Hear me out. So, all right, we got all the pyramid stuff going on. We got Ark of the Covenant, supposedly leaked documents or whatever, 25 years ago. That's now, or not 25 years ago, but 5 years ago from 1988, way back when. Okay. Trump gives them or is going to give them the Ark of the Covenant. Isn't this the last year that they have for the
The red heifer.
the red heifers? This is the last year that they qualify to be slain for the ritual, whatever,
Yes, that's
purification
correct.
of the temple. So,
Ooh.
so we got everything ready to go. We now have an ark. This is the last year, and Passover's coming up. What? Oh, what is it? April
And we got
17th, according to their calendar. That's the day they're going to do it. Is that right?
no, the
The
12th, I
10th,
believe.
12th.
Is it
12th of
12th?
April. Yep.
12th. That's coming up real soon.
Mm-hmm.
Boys and girls, do not be deceived. Ooh, stuff might be getting a little cray.
And this is where we cue the picture of the guy from Ancient Aliens with the big hair right now.
Right.
It's aliens.
Well, and what's funny is if any of this stuff transpires and if any of this stuff's more than coincidence and they have an arc there, because before it was, they have the purification from the red heifer, but okay, what does that actually do? You're starting processes but you don't have any completion of anything. But this would be if this is the Ark of the Covenant and somehow some way they were able to touch it and move it and they didn't all get hemorrhoids and boils immediately. Because again, that seems to be the case. So I don't know why it would, now be acceptable where it wasn't before. But if this all works out and then they were to sprinkle the blood on this ark, this would be the first time that blood was sprinkled until way before Yeshua. Because anytime during the what we call Judaism days, they were sprinkling it on the floor and doing nothing. So this would actually be doing something. It just makes you wonder,
but I'll be honest with you. If this is the real, genuine, authentic Ark of the Covenant, I'm not sprinkling no blood. I'm not going near it. I'm thinking you getting ready to open up something that you don't want to deal with.
Oh, every practice that they're going to be doing is an abomination.
Yes.
Right. They're going to need some preparation H for holy.
Oh, you know what, Jonathan? You know what we could do to see if that is happening? We should go to that area or look online and see if there's been an increase in the sale of that. Wait a minute. They just went up there. They just sold 500 more units of Preparation H than they normally do. I think we're on to something.
Yeah. Be an early indicator.
Did he get out?
Everybody's sitting down real easy, like.
That's Johnson & Johnson there, Kyle.
Why are all these guys grimacing every time they sit down?
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah. Hey, look, it is what it is, man. I think that's been my gut feeling for a while, guys. At 2025, we ain't seen nothing yet, baby. So
you ain't seen nothing yet.